Welcome back to HQ Spotlight. New Cowboys wide receiver George Pickens says he is locked in with this new team. The quarterback, Dak Prescott, also excited to learn that he got a new weapon. He said Jerry Jones left him a voicemail because he was away from his phone. But everyone is excited about the potential for Pickens. We all know the off-the-field character issues that he is facing. But when it comes to on the field, Pickens certainly knows how to deliver, averaging an NFL best 16.7 yards per reception over the last 2 years. And as he goes into the final year of his rookie deal, he is certainly looking for an extension and also looking to help out my Dallas Cowboys. Several other players also facing similar situations with their contracts. Let's navigate it as we welcome in our NFL crew of our former lineman, Kyle Long, and our NFL and CBS analyst, Charles Davis. Kyle has given us a list of guys who are in contract situations, going to tell us what the ceiling is kind of for some of these players. And Kyle, we'll start with George Pickens there. It seems like he's settling in. Makes my heart happy knowing that Dak Prescott's got another option there on the outside. But I thought it was interesting. CeeDee Lamb said they complement each other very well. What's the ceilings for Pickens in this situation and my Dallas Cowboys here? How's it looking?
Well, obviously they complement each other well. I would love a superhuman to line up opposite me on the offensive side of the football, give CeeDee Lamb that many more opportunities to be explosive and do the things that we've seen for so long in Dallas with him and Dak Prescott. But you add George Pickens into the fold, obviously it's pie in the sky. But if George Pickens is a new man in Dallas, if he truly is playing for a new contract and he comes with an elite level focus, we could be looking at one of the most explosive offenses in terms of passing the football in the National Football League. And George Pickens, quite frankly, he's never had the opportunities like he will have in Dallas, and obviously having CeeDee Lamb complements him as well. So I'm interested to see, are we going to have more of the same with George Pickens, a guy who at times can be a big-time distraction, or are we going to see the guy who truly is playing for that contract? It will be so exponentially helpful for the Dallas Cowboys if George Pickens comes ready to go mentally this season. He's going to be there physically, though.
And Kyle, I don't think there's any doubt that he knows he's playing for that contract. I mean, there's zero, where we're saying, well, is George thinking one way or the other? This is exactly what he's thinking. To me, it's all going to be the circumstances of the season. It's going to be what confronts him during the season that tells us whether he's turned a corner, whether he's gotten better at certain things. Because when the bumps come, meaning losses, one pass thrown my direction, all those things, we've seen the reaction in the past, and it hasn't always been great. Will the reaction be different now? Will he forge his way through? If I'm Dallas, there's no extension until I see a full 17 of this. All right? If they get off to a 5-0 start and things are rocking, I wouldn't hand him the contract then. I don't know anything yet. I've got to know at the end of the season, when he's played his way through, when he's mad at Brian Schottenheimer because he didn't get the play designed for him, when he's upset because of this didn't happen, did we see a different George Pickens? Because if we did, it's exactly what you said. That superhuman on the other side of the field, who should have been a first-round pick, barring injury and whispers coming out of college, he can be extraordinary. But no way I'm handing him that contract early in the season. Not a chance.
Yeah, it's important to note as well, Charles, that when you look at the Cowboys' schedule, it's not even the beginning part of the season that people are worried about. It's that post-bye schedule where you come back and you play the Raiders, and then you've got the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. You've got the Lions in there as well. The Eagles are in that mix. So I'm with you, man. Show us what you can do in that second half of the season, and we will, make our decisions there. He did tell the media, by the way, one thing that he wants everyone to know about him is he's actually a chill guy. So I know we haven't seen that side of him, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see it now that he's in a new city. Sometimes that's all it takes. Let's go over to the AFC West, guys, where, of course, we know that it's been run by the Kansas City Chiefs over the past few seasons, but a bit of an O-line standoff here, Kyle. KC lineman Trey Smith is still waiting on a contract. They gave him the franchise tag earlier this offseason. From that front, he said he's letting his agent deal with all of the conversations. But in terms of the on-the-field play here, the Chiefs have kind of been under a microscope when it comes to their offensive line. So what are you expecting out of him as he's having these contract conversations?
Well, one guy who's not in the focal point of that microscope is Trey Smith. If you go back and you take a look at what Kansas City has accomplished offensively, obviously we love Patrick Mahomes. We think the Andy Reid show is a lot of fun to watch week in, week out. But if you love football and you've got your eyes trained on the A-gaps, Trey Smith, he lives there, and he plays a lot of really good football. Obviously, they had Joe Tooney at the left guard spot, who famously played left tackle at the drop of a hat for the Chiefs. Trey Smith has been their right guard. He is their right guard again this year. He's under the franchise tag, which means he's going to be paid $23.5 million to play the position, and he's earned every penny of it. They know that if he goes out there and proves it again and does his work like he has done, he's going to be a very expensive guy going to set the market for guards this coming offseason.
Yeah, he has been so instrumental. As we know, he also helped them win 2 Super Bowls as well, drafted back in 2021. So not really some concern there. If we look at the Steelers, there's a lot of concerns across the board, but we do know that T.J. Watt is going to be a game breaker at any stage of his career. 11.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles a year ago. And he's looking for that extension as well. We just saw Fred Warner pick up an extension with the 49ers, so maybe the money could look similar here, Kyle. But what do you think? What do you expect when it comes to T.J. Watt? What does he deserve, especially when you think about how the defense feels like it's going to have to carry the offense a bit here, at least in the offseason with no real quarterback?
Yeah, we've listened to this album before for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to need a whole lot of T.J. Watt if we want to be in ball games. And 3 of the last 5 seasons, this is a guy who has led the National Football League in sacks. He is a stalwart. He's a guy that's available physically week in, week out. He's the captain of your defense. And unfortunately, he's been trying to get this deal done, but they haven't been able to make it happen. If I know the guy who I watch on film every week, he's going to show up and earn it again this year, and the number will go up. Every day you wait around for a guy like T.J. Watt, he becomes more expensive. We've seen that around the league with other guys. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's a Hall of Famer, and I think he's going to continue to solidify his career there in Pittsburgh.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, Kyle. He doesn't need to do anything different but be T.J. Watt. That is all he has to do, because we know what those numbers look like. We know the impact. You remember, what was it, Kyle, just a few seasons ago when he held in during the preseason and then played the season opener at Buffalo and was terrific in that ball game and showed exactly why they absolutely have to have him? So Alex Highsmith on the other side, Nick Herbig, who's backed him up on the other side, anyone you want to throw, they've got to come and play to a high level. But it always shows T.J. Watt is that guy. So I'm not worried about him, not one bit.
I will say that Fred Warner's extension, 3 years, $63 million. So maybe we see something similar for T.J. Watt, but we'll all have to wait and see as a family here. A little bit different of a situation for Deebo Samuel, guys. We know he signed that 1-year deal with Washington, so he's got some new digs as well. But, Kyle, we also know that the injury bug has been such a big impact for his career, even looking back at last year where he spent some time on the sidelines as well. Now you get Jaden Daniels, so a new quarterback situation too. What is Deebo playing for here in this season?
Well, you get an opportunity to reinvent yourself. And us 3 up here talking right now, we're all athletes, formerly athletes. And you know that sometimes it's just a in terms of who gets banged up as a result of what, wrong place, wrong time. Deebo Samuel is a tremendous football player, and he's been a lot of fun to watch in the. And so many other football fans want to see that elite version of Deebo Samuel go to the East Coast. And with Jaden Daniels, you can only imagine some of the yak opportunities he'll be healthy. But nobody hopes more than Deebo Samuel, because it is a contract year. Obviously, there was 1 year deal when he was dealt to Washington. It's going to be fun to watch him in that competitive mind space that, CD was just discussing about George Pickens. That's what it's going to be.
Bottom line for Deebo, guys, just be in shape. Be ready to go. Because that's what happened to him a few years ago in San Francisco. Next year, he wasn't quite the Deebo that he should have been, and admitted it. A little bit slower, a little too thick at that time. Guess what? He showed that offense and everything going on there, the momentum that they have, and Kyle has articulated it so perfectly. A contract year for him. He wants to get that last big one. I think that he's going to be ready. I really do. I think whatever number of sprints he's running, he's adding to it each and every day, because he's watched tape of Washington. Kingsbury is going to be extremely creative as long as he stays healthy.
All right, guys, we're going to cut the conversation there, but you can pick it up by checking out the Pushing the Pile podcast with our Kyle Long and Mike Renner as they bring you the latest NFL headlines. You can scan that QR code on your screen or listen wherever